Hey, what's up? In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to create a word per minute tester using Tkinter. Once again, this application, it's going to determine how fast you're typing words per minute based on shooting out random words on the screen. You type it out, push the enter button, and then it will display the estimate how many or how fast you're going. I will be using Visual Studio Code Editor. You're going to right click, hit new, hit folder, and just type word per minute project. Visual Studio Code, file, open folder, select our new folder as our directory. And now we will start importing our libraries. Or excuse me, we're going to create our file. We're going to name it speed. We'll say word per minute underscore speed.py. First thing we're going to do is import Tkinter. Tkinter is the library that's going to allow us to create our graphical user interface. We're going to import the random library because this is what's going to shoot out random words for us to type. And then we're going to say import time because this library will determine, it will keep track of how fast we're typing these words. Next, we're going to create our class. We're going to say typing speed tester. TK. I'm going to say define and itself, colon, and then we're going to say super it, where's it? And then we're going to have closing parentheses. Quick recap, class. In Python, class is pretty much a blueprint that creates objects. So our class is the typing speed tester application. And now that we have that as our class, we're now going to assign attributes to that class. So that is what a class is. So we're going to say self.words. And this is going to create the words that we want to shoot out to us. So you can use whatever words you want. You don't have to use the exact words that I'm using. I'm going to keep it pretty much programming related. So we're going to use Python programming. Make sure you put a comma after the prints or the quotation marks. Say time, speed, library, and then we'll just use those words. We don't have to use a lot. And next, we're going to say type self dot current word, and we're going to leave that with the double quotation marks. And pretty much what this is doing, it's going to shoot out of this. It's going to randomly pick one of these words and shoot out that word on the screen for us to type, and that's going to be our current word. That's why it's blank in between the quotation marks. I'm going to say self.start time and equals none. So our time, it will start determining the time once that word shoots up and we start typing it. And then after we hit type and we hit enter, then it will print out on the screen how fast we type out that word. Next, we're going to say is self title. I'm going to say typing speed tester. I'm going to say self geometry. Remember, self.geometry allows us, we're creating the size of our window frame for our application. We're going to go with 400 by 200. we're going to say self.configure, and we're going to do the background color, and we're going to do blue. You can use whatever color you want, but for this program, I'm going to use blue. Next, we're going to create our word label. So we're going to say self.word_label equals, whoops, make sure we're in the right area, equals tk label. Make sure that label is capital L. And then we're going to say self text quotation marks, double quotation marks. And then you're going to say font, and we're going to set the font to Arial 24 pixels in size. And let's say background color, we want that to be blue. And then we're going to set our foreground color, which is going to be white. Okay, so we have our label set up once again. We're going to have our text displayed. Oh, make sure you put an equal sign where text is. We're going to have our text display. Whatever the word is going to display it in that text label. It's going to be in the font of Arial, size 24. And then our background frame color is going to be blue. And our foreground color where we're going to type in is going to be white. And that text is going to appear white on that blue screen. So now that we gave the blueprint for what we want, we have to pack it. This is what allows it to be displayed on the screen. So we're going to say pack. We're going to put pad y of 20. That file save. It's always good to save often, because you never know what could happen to your computer. It could shut down. Just a good precautionary thing to do. So we're going to say sub.entry. We're going to say equals tk entry self font equals Arial. We're going to go with pixel size 16, font size. And now we're going to pack it self.entry.pack. We're going to pad y equals 10. And then we are going to say self.entry bind. We're going to have the return. We want it to return. And then you're going to say self.check word. So what we created now is our entry area, like what we're typing, because it's going to display the word and we're going to type it. We want where we're entering the word out, we want it to be in the font of Arial, and we want it to be 16 pixels. And then it's going to return we're returning the word, we're typing the word that's displaying on the screen. Now we're going to move on. We're going to move on to our result label. So we're going to say self.result label equals tk label. Self text equals, let's say font equal, and do Arial again. Arial 16. And we're going to do our background color again, is going to be blue. Oops. Make sure you're, after you write 16, make sure you get out of that parenthesis, the first one, and you can say background equals blue. And then you're going to say foreground color equals white. And then we're going to say self.result underscore label pack pad y equals 20. Okay. Let's take a look at our code real quick. See, why do we have this error? Font equals Arial. Font equals Arial 16, comma 16. Oh, forgot that comma after the parentheses. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to say self.get new word. Now we're going to define a new function. Our get new word function. Self. We're going to say self.current word equals random choice self.words. So we're creating our function to give us a current word to type, and it's going to be random. It's going to be randomly picked. So we're going to say self.word underscore label dot config. And I'm going to say text equals self.current word. And then we're going to say self.entry delete tk end. And I'm going to say self start time equals time dot time. So what we're doing here is once we type in the word and we hit entered, it's going to end at that word's going to disappear off the screen, and then the time will restart with a new word. Now we're going to define our next function, which is check word. I would say check word self event, and we would say typed underscore word equals self entry dot get dot strip. I'm going to say if our conditional statement, if typed word is equal to self dot current word, elapsed time equals time minus self dot start time. I'm going to say words per minute equals integer. Int is for integer. I'm going to say length. I'm going to say self dot current word. I'm going to say divided by elapsed time / 60. And then we will say, well, make sure you have words per minute, not WMP, words per minute. And then we're going to say self.result underscore label dot config. Let's say text equal to f string your typing speed. And then we have our curly bracket. I will explain all of this once I type this out. Words per minute. And then we're going to say words per minute. And then we're going to have our foreground color, which will be Right. Okay. So we still have a little bit more to type, but I'm going to stop here so you can see. So first off, this is our typed word. So it's going to display the word on the screen, right? We're going to type that word. So if the word that we type is equal to the current word, then the time is going to stop. And what's going to happen is going to compare the words per minute divided by the elapsed time, which is divided by 60, and then it will display the result of that on our label, and it will say with the F string, it will say your typing speed, and then in these curly brackets, it will display whatever our word per minute speed was. But we also have our next function, or our else conditional statement. This is going to determine, because also if the word is not typed in correctly, then it will display on the screen that we did not type the word correctly. So it will say self.result label config. We'll say text equal to wrong word. Oops, what's going on here? Try. Oops. Wrong word. Try it again. We want that to display in our foreground color, or a foreground which will be white. Foreground color will be white. And then we will say self dot after 1500 self get underscore new underscore word. And we're going to hit file save. It's good to save frequently. Next, our last little part is our main loop, and our main loop is what keeps the program running. So we're going to say if name is equal to main, app equal to typing speed tester, app.main loop, and then hit file save. And there you go. Now watch library, enter. Okay. That should display what our word per minute is. So there's an error. It says right here, it says line 40 in check word cell that result label. Okay, cell is not defined. I forgot to put the F right here. It should not be cell, it should be self. My mistake. File save. You're gonna hit the run button again. Okay, now let's try it. Speed. Your typing speed word per minute. Python is 145. Time. Programming. Time. Python. We just want to make sure everything's working right. So I'm gonna do this for a second. Python. Sometimes it'll display it more than once. We already typed it. Speed. Library. So everything works. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave a comment down below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, share this video, and I appreciate your time.